Hey everyone, I'm here today to dive into a pressing issue that's been making headlines recently. Yes, we're talking about the influence of Zimbabwe's observers on South African elections. Let's unpack this complex situation together. Just last week, the South African chapter of the Anti-Corruption Trust of Southern Africa, also known as ACTSA, raised eyebrows with a bold statement. They expressed deep concerns over the ANC government's decision to invite ZANU-PF and the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, or ZEC, to observe the ongoing elections. Now, why is this controversial, you might ask? Well, Zimbabwe itself has been under the microscope for its own elections. Just months ago, Zimbabwe held its presidential and legislative elections, which, according to regional observers from the Southern Africa Development Community, fell short of democratic standards. Issues like cancellation of opposition rallies, biased state media coverage, and alleged voter intimidation were highlighted. Despite these controversies, Zimbabwe's election was declared peaceful and calm. However, the same can't be said about the transparency and fairness of the process. This brings us to the crux of the matter: the credibility of Zimbabwe as an observer in other nations' elections, especially a neighboring country like South Africa, which is striving to uphold democratic values in its electoral process. It's a bit like asking someone who's failed their driving test to then go and judge others on their driving skills. It raises questions, doesn't it? The involvement of Zimbabwe's observers is particularly significant, considering the history and political dynamics of the region. Zimbabwe, under the rule of ZANU-PF, has faced numerous accusations of electoral misconduct and authoritarian tendencies. A stark contrast to what you'd expect from a neutral, unbiased observer. Moreover, the timing is crucial. South Africa's electoral environment is already under scrutiny, with tensions running high. The presence of observers from a country with a questionable democratic record might not just influence the public's trust in the electoral process, but could also impact the actual fairness and transparency of the elections. This situation poses a serious question. Can the involvement of such observers jeopardize the legitimacy of South Africa's elections? And what does this mean for the wider region, which is closely watching these developments? As political analysts, or anyone interested in the mechanics of democracy, it's essential to keep an eye on these developments. Observers play a critical role in validating the processes and outcomes of elections, and their credibility is paramount. In conclusion, while the role of Zimbabwe as an observer in South African elections is legal and sanctioned, the decision by the ANC government has stirred up a significant debate about the implications for democracy and regional stability. It's a story that's still unfolding, and one that all of us should watch closely. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, staying informed is the first step towards making a difference. Catch you in the next video, where we'll continue to explore the fascinating world of politics and governance.